What if your biggest goal right now is the wrong goal? Not a little wrong, completely wrong. Imagine spending years chasing a promotion, the bigger house, the higher salary, the status, only to discover that the thing you wanted wasn't actually what you were looking for. Sounds unlikely. This happens to millions of people, not because they're lazy, not because they're unsuccessful, but because the human brain is surprisingly bad at knowing what will make it happy in the future. And that mistake can quietly steal decades of your life. Two Harvard psychologists spent decades studying this exact problem, Daniel Gilbert and Timothy Wilson, and what they found changed everything. They discovered that humans are consistently bad at predicting how they will feel after getting what they want, not a little bad, significantly bad. We overestimate how happy a goal will make us. We overestimate how long that happiness will last. And we keep doing this with goal after goal after goal. They gave this a name, miswanting. The act of confidently pursuing something that won't actually make you feel the way you expected. Here's a real study that shows how this works. Researchers asked college students which dorm room they wanted most. Students focused almost entirely on the physical qualities. The location, the size, the view. They predicted that getting the good dorm would make them significantly happier. Then researchers followed up months later. The physical qualities had almost no effect on happiness. What actually determined how happy students were, their social connections, the people they met, the relationships they formed. The thing they focused all their energy on choosing barely mattered. The thing they barely thought about mattered most. So why does this keep happening? Gilbert and Wilson identified 3 specific errors. The first error is imagining the wrong event. When you picture a future goal, you imagine the best version of it. The promotion looks like more respect and more freedom. You don't imagine the extra responsibility, the longer hours, the political pressure. You imagine the highlight reel of the goal, not the full experience of living it. Here's something called focalism. It means that when you imagine a future goal, you focus almost entirely on that one thing. You imagine getting the promotion, but you don't imagine Tuesday afternoon 6 months later, when the promotion is normal, when other problems have arrived, when life has filled in around the new achievement. You think you're predicting the future, but you're only predicting the moment of arrival, not what comes after. The second error is using the wrong theory. You look at other people's goals and assume their happiness is the right template for yours. Everyone around you is chasing the bigger title, so you assume the bigger title is what you want too, even if it doesn't fit how you're actually built. And the third error is misreading your own feelings. Sometimes the excitement you feel about a goal isn't about the goal itself. It's about escaping what you have right now. The new job isn't exciting because of what it offers. It's exciting because it isn't your current job. And that distinction is everything. Here's what decades of happiness research has consistently found. The things people predict will make them happy, and the things that actually do are often not the same list. People predict they'll be happiest with more money after a certain point, a bigger house, a higher status job. The research finds they're actually happiest with meaningful work that uses their strengths, close relationships, autonomy over how they spend their time, the feeling of contributing to something beyond themselves. Not a list most people spend their 20s and 30s actively chasing. Here's something that research found about money and happiness. Beyond a certain income level, more money has almost no effect on day-to-day happiness. The exact number varies by location and research, but the pattern is consistent. People spend enormous energy chasing income beyond that threshold for a return on happiness that is almost zero. Not because money isn't useful, but because above a certain point, we're no longer solving real problems with it. We're solving the feeling of not having enough, and that feeling doesn't respond to more money. Here's the quiet cost of chasing the wrong goals. It's not just the years you spend chasing them, it's what you don't do during those years. The relationship you deprioritize, the creative work you keep postponing, the slower, more present version of life you keep delaying for later, because you're convinced the right goal will unlock everything. And later will be the time for the rest. But later always comes with its own pressure, its own demands, its own treadmill. And the things you kept postponing have a way of becoming permanent absences. So how do you actually figure out what you want? Not what you think you want, what you actually want. 1. Test small before committing big. Before spending 5 years chasing a goal, find a way to experience a version of it first. Shadow someone in the role, do the work on the side. Get close enough to smell what Tuesday afternoon actually feels like, not just the arrival moment. 2. Ask different questions. Instead of what do I want to achieve, ask what kind of day do I want to have, because your goals shape your days, and your days are your life. 3. Separate want from escape. When you feel excited about a new goal, pause and ask, is this excitement about what I'm moving toward, or about what I'm moving away from? The answer changes everything. Here's the truth about wrong goals. The problem isn't ambition. The problem is that we trust our predictions about the future far more than we should. The brain is extraordinarily confident about what it wants, and it is often wrong. not occasionally wrong. Consistently, predictably wrong in specific ways. Knowing that changes your relationship with your goals, not to stop chasing them, but to hold them more lightly, to test them before fully committing. To stay curious about whether what you're running toward is actually the thing you're looking for. Because the years are not replaceable, and the wrong goal chased with full commitment is one of the quietest ways to waste them. Because the most expensive mistake isn't the goal you fail at. It's the goal you achieve and then realize was never what you wanted.